Hello everyone, it's GT time. I'm your moderator Kyle Bossman, and joining us as always is our uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel, including Brandon Jones,
4 hours of sleep,
Daniel Bloodworth.
Long flights.
How many hours of sleep?
I actually slept fine. Yeah, like, I don't know, 7 or 8.
In the
like
super seat this week, Matt Blair.
Hello.
How many hours of sleep?
I have no idea.
In the booth, behind the switches, Ian Hink.
Hi.
And how many hours of sleep have you had?
7, 8.
Okay, hey, great, man. That's probably
I get a decent amount of sleep. I stop playing games at midnight and go to bed.
We do have to get to the super seat question, but I need to know before we get into any of that. Obviously, I have to have an amiibo on my desk because I lost a bet. I thought Nintendo would be dishonest, and they were not. But here comes Brandon Jones. This week he has 3 toys on the desk. Brandon, you know how I feel about toys on the desk.
We're totally repping. Oh yeah, I didn't really know that actually. I had not committed that to memory that bothers you. I know, like when my phone is on the desk, you freak out sometimes. But these won't come back next week. This is not a permanent thing.
I mean, they could if you want. If it's really like a part of you.
This is just the Toys to Life season right now.
So what am I seeing right here? What are these
you
toys?
are seeing Darth Vader, who is coming to who you could have possibly gotten before at events or stuff like that, but he is finally coming to stores soon in the Rise Against the Empire playset. And then there's Fiesta, which is from Skylanders, and then Batman in Front from Lego Dimensions.
Which Batman from
awesome
Lego
games.
Dimensions?
That is the Lego Batman. So not the Lego movie Batman.
Great.
But the one from the Lego Batman games 1, 2, 3.
That's very granular.
The Lego Beyond Gotham Batman.
And so these are your favorites from each game, basically.
Yeah, I haven't played a lot of Skylander Superchargers yet. Superchargers.
Superchargers.
Getting confused.
Can't believe you brought toys to this desk. Matt Blair.
I actually complimented you on your amiibo earlier too, and nobody said anything.
The bet was...
This is your punishment.
Yeah, the bet was to get the worst amiibo. And this is Brandon's pick for the worst amiibo. I guess I should explain it to anyone who's just listening. This is Luigi, the one who's resting his crotch upon a pedestal in order for him to lean forward.
No, he's in flight on a stand.
Yeah.
So he's currently flying, but he's also not.
Well, this is actually... this is one of his win poses. He just flops forward 3 times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was okay until you explained it, and now it's terrible. So, good punishment.
It's the one Brandon picked. Yeah, Brandon, why did you pick that one?
Because the whole support thing, I think, is just an absolute fail. It's like that, none of those amiibo should have some random clear plastic thing that like supports them.
These guys don't need any supporters.
They do not. Yeah. A couple of the Lego things do. The Raptor that comes with Chris Pratt has like a big crystal crotch, like a big.
We don't want that.
A third leg, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think the crotch is the biggest part of that observation. It's like if you're going to do something that's going to require a stand, figure out where the stand's going to go, and it shouldn't be between the legs.
Sure.
And it looks like Link got like stuck on something. It's like, oh no, there's some like yellow goo attacking your leg, Link.
Too.
Look out.
Yeah.
The stands I like are like those weird, unfortunate, overly sexed anime dolls often, where it's a stand that like has a little holder, and the
it
toy
just holds
goes
their waist.
into it,
It
and
like
it just
holds them in the
holds
waist.
up, but it's not
Yeah.
part of the toy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can like put them in or take them out.
Sure.
Those are good because it's clear they're just a stand.
Yeah.
But these, I guess you couldn't really do that.
So how many anime dolls do you have?
0. I had a couple from when we got acquired that I got from like Marco or some. One of them just showed up on my desk.
Yeah.
The Cammy one I gave to Ben.
That was
So it's
really
on
nice of
his
you,
desk.
Ian.
That's actually a pretty good statue.
It is a good statue. It's just really a lot. It's a lot to take in.
Matt Blair, what is the best animal?
I didn't even think about this. Like in terms of my favorite, or just like
Not
like
your favorite.
empirically
The best.
Yeah, the best.
Humans.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Why are humans the best animal?
Well, I just like look what we're doing.
Yeah.
We built all of this out of sand and rock and dirt and stuff. Like no other animal on the planet is doing a podcast right now.
Sure.
Well, that's not possible.
That
somebody
could possibly not be true, yeah.
Somebody please just show
There's
me
a
some
zoo
animal
somewhere
podcasts.
that has a
Yeah.
monkey on.
But they didn't build buildings and create the internet and video games and have awesome jobs like we do.
Wow. Okay, that's a very unique
Screw
pick.
animals, actually.
We are animals, I guess. I guess we're mammals. We are that type. Whew. It's
Sorry.
hard for me. It's hard for me to
Backfire.
accept, but yeah, I'll
Backfire,
take it.
boss.
I'll really take it.
This is a backfire.
I just, humans do so much wrong too. It's
That's
just
true.
there's.
That's true.
This planet would keep existing if it weren't for us,
Well,
our
yeah,
meddling.
I didn't tell you my favorite. You just asked
Yeah,
me the
you
best.
said the best,
You
and
can be
yeah,
the best and the worst.
Yeah, we can kill any of those animals. Any animal anyone else picks, we could kill it in a second.
We kill entire species
Yeah.
daily.
Yeah.
We're the best.
Oh my god. Let's move on to corrections.
We're in the lead.
We're winning.
For now.
Begin corrections music, please. Iron Man is not from the Golden Age. Many tried to actually correct Brandon on Iceman not having his own series. He had some comics on his own, it says Iceman on the top, but they didn't last for more than a year ever. You know what I mean? We don't count mini-series.
I did kind of spit that out, yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw on Twitter somebody actually posted one of the covers.
Yeah, so what?
Which is rad. I
so
love
what? You
that.
found a cover. You found a cover, but that's not an Iceman comic series. I'm sticking with you on this one, Brandon.
I mean, things.
Well, it was a
can be
limited
series.
edition run. It wasn't just that
Yeah.
one thing. I think it was like
Yeah.
4 issues.
Yeah.
The one that he sent, it said issue 1 of 4.
yeah, but that's not like Captain America having his own series. It's not like Spider-Man.
Yes, but being the one who actually made the statement, I didn't think there was anything. I didn't think.
Oh, so you're taking the correction.
Specifically Iceman. Yeah, I didn't think Iceman
Okay.
was popular
Okay.
enough.
Brandon officially takes the correction.
But Cyclops didn't get his own series.
Cable had his own series.
Everyone has their own series if you count miniseries.
Can we
Oh, they do? Okay.
reject
Yeah, I feel like-
corrections?
You can absolutely reject a
We can
correction.
take or not take factual correction.
Well,
Yeah.
if they're not factual.
Rejection music,
Or
please.
if they're
Conan
interpretive.
does it every week.
I wish I could play this backwards.
So Shiesty did a really cool thing last week. Went through every single episode of the season of GT Time. Went through the bets to see what the actual scores are. So
Oh,
the actual
man.
score is Super Seat 12, Blood 13,
Ha-ha!
Brandon 5 with a lightning bolt, me 8. Ian was right, so Shiesty is right.
Thank you,
Uh,
So Shiesty.
Yeah, Super Seat is breathing down Blood's neck.
What did you? Was the gap further or?
It was 11. He
It
thought
was 11. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
we gained a point.
Gained a point because of Shiesty's hard work.
So Shiesty gave us a point. Thank you. You are an honorary member of the Super Seat this week.
Last week we had a weird moment where everyone was like, I don't know, is the new Nintendo CEO, was he in HR? Is he? I
Oh,
don't
right.
know. Bloomberg's headline is Nintendo named 65-year-old human resources head as president. So there's that. He is.
It's weird that the Wikipedia had none of that.
It is
Well,
weird.
Wikipedia is
I mean, it's Wikipedia, sure.
Also,
but
I think it's not cool for Bloomberg to put that in the headline. It's kind of like already like misleading.
Yeah, it is a kind of a weird thing.
It's like, oh, they pulled this guy from Human Resources who had never had anything to do with video games. Like, no,
Yeah.
no, hold on, Bloomberg.
a guy who used to basically be the president is now the president.
Yeah. Other games with pre-order tiers. Oh, we talked about like if you pre-order a game enough times, the rewards go up and up. This is happening on Steam for a long time for BioShock Infinite, Tomb Raider, Company Heroes 2, Resident Evil 6. Ni no Kuni had a very similar thing, so it's not necessarily new. It's very new to call them stretch goals in terms of pre-ordering. Gundam Extreme vs. Force is also a Vita exclusive, and corrections music. Feels good. Always feels good to have that music stop.
It always feels so like empty.
Like you want it to keep going?
It's just like, yeah, it's just very sudden vacuum of
Nothing left to
sound.
do but get factually
Talk to
information
each other.
incorrect.
I do.
Yeah.
I kind of wish this.
Like that sentence.
I wish this podcast had music the whole time a little bit because like you hear a lot of the mics pick up a lot of the room for sure.
That'd
Like
be a
a-
bit intense, I think.
Like
though.
a
It
live
c- it can
performance.
easily
We
get
have musical
irritating.
guests every week.
And like
That
we
would
just
be cool.
we just chatter over the musical guests like it's prom. You know, like
Like
we're at a
it-
wedding. There's a
Yeah.
live band and we're just like having a chat.
Or like those improv shows where they just have a guy on the bass or like a trombone or something. Just
I have
plays
not
An
been to
acoustic
one of
bass.
those kind
Really?
of improv shows.
Oh wow,
dude,
A
an
lot in
acoustic bass is
Chicago.
one of the best sounds on earth.
oh yeah.
During
In Chicago,
improv.
in
Oh, yeah.
Chicago, they would do that all the time. Like between a joke or like when the guy runs through to like cancel the scene or whatever, like the bass player would just go like boom boom boom.
That's cheap. That's a cheap trick.
That's I don't know.
So we don't have a lot of game
We could play
announcements
Cheap
this week.
Trick.
We have. Mama's all right. We have accidental game announcements this week. You know, I love to start with game announcements. We don't have those, so we're taking what we can get. We have an accidental game announcement for Wolfenstein: The New Order sequel. So, I mean, this is kind of already expected. Wolfenstein: The New Order did well. I think its director even said, yeah, I have great ideas for a sequel. But here's what happened. Polish actress, here we go, Alicia Bakleda-Sarus, the voice of Anya Aliwala, oh my gosh, I got
You got
through-
the Polish name
I got
right.
through the Polish. She was doing an interview at TVN, which is a Polish network. Like, how would we ever pick up on that? You know what I mean? How would it leak out? Here's what they said. Apart from the movie on set we are of which now, are there any professional challenges waiting ahead for you? And she said, yes, I'm still working on a computer game. I already did the first part. Now we're working on the second one, and it will take roughly 2 years. That sounds about right. That's Wolfenstein 2 for sure. What do we think about that? Are you surprised by that, or is that like, yeah, duh?
That is surprised they're making the sequel. They're surprised that it got leaked, or
We'll talk about the leak itself, but the sequel I'd like to talk about now. Like that's a sure thing, right?
yeah. I think it's extremely likely. That was that was our second place shooter of the year. That was between that and Far Cry 4. It was a spitting match between
Ben is
myself
still
and Ben
mad about
Moore.
it. He's still mad.
No, wasn't it Huber?
Ben
Huber
as
was
well.
also there, but it was Ben and I were the ones that were standing. But I could have easily been on the other side of the fence. I mean, I can talk about the virtues of Wolfenstein and go on and on and on. So yeah, I didn't really chart the sales that specifically, but just as far as quality and a premise that's interesting enough to produce one, if not more, sequels. Just kind of taking that whole like Nazi timeline and running with it.
So yeah, and the thing is, I did want to talk about, like Brandon said, the is it a surprise that this got leaked? Because this is a whole different situation, I feel like, from movies. You know, when casting is announced long ahead of time. Very like Blair, you're rolling your eyes about that. Why already?
I hate it. I hate this new culture of knowing everything about a movie before it comes out.
Okay.
Yeah,
I absolutely hate it. And this is the same thing. Like, maybe this isn't a flashy enough franchise, or maybe it is. But like, when people start digging for every single detail and things like this, an actress slipping up during an interview is one thing. But I mean, I don't want to know the plot points in the cast for everything. I think they should just come out and say it, first of all, that the game's happening, and then just kind of control.
I think that's why Hollywood does that, is because there's no way to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
You
might be right about that.
There's a weird thing that I noticed the other day too with the John Wick 2 thing. A headline said, "Studio inadvertently announces John Wick 2 begins filming in fall."
Sure.
And then they block quote the source, and it said like Keanu is also doing the next John Wick film, which begins shooting in a couple of months. Blah 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 blah. And I was like, that's not inadvertent at all. They just said it.
Yeah.
But like the site changed it to be inadvertent just to like make it a leak buzz kind of
Sure.
thing.
Yeah.
It's like we're in this leak culture now.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And I don't think that it doesn't have to be. And so really the question I want to pose to the panel today is like when you see Disney come out and say, here's the next 10 years of our movies. Could video games do that? Could Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo do that? Here's the next 10 years of our
They
video
don't even know
games.
when Last Guardian's coming out. What do you mean?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know Last Guardian, we don't know Zelda, we don't know Star Fox anymore. I mean,
Do you think that's the only difference, is that video game, the schedules in which they take to develop is too inconsistent for them to do that? Do you think they would announce if they knew how long it would take to make Zelda?
I don't know. I mean, because here's the thing. Like, we also have this whole thing of, essentially hype fatigue, right? It's like, if a game's not out within 2 years after it was announced, then, like, people just stop caring.
True. And
like-
we're going to get John Wick within a year.
Right.
That's another huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the turnaround on a movie versus the turnaround on a game. I mean,
Yeah.
a little bit different. Similar, but proportionally, but different.
Yeah.
What's funny, though, is that sometimes, I remember when I was at preview events for The Crew, and I was asking, like, so is the main character Troy Baker? And they didn't, like, nobody there knew. Like, nobody had any clue who the voice actors in their game was.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
They didn't know, and I asked them. So it was pretty funny.
Why would they not know that was Troy Baker?
Because they just didn't. It wasn't something they did.
Well, they're just so disconnected from the process, right? Like you have people doing really specific jobs, and maybe you're just not connected to the voiceover part of it, or maybe they're doing that part last.
Sure. I think they do that part like way early, actually.
Yeah, I
Voice
wonder,
acting.
like, especially a game like that got so delayed, like, how long ago did they record those lines?
Yeah. I think it was a super long time ago.
Yeah.
Like, The Crew took forever, right? And you said Troy Baker's in that game long before we learned Troy Baker's in that game.
So, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. Brandon, like, so are you mad at this actor who, like, accidentally spilt this to Polish TV? Or, like, Is this something that should be a secret? Shouldn't she just be allowed to say I'm working on this project right now?
Here's the thing. Comparing like games to movies, like when I hear about a movie being announced, I'm always like, okay, I think a poster is like the big winner for me. Like when I actually see a poster of a film, it's like, oh, here we go. Okay, no, they're printing these, then they're ready to go. Whereas like if it's just like a casting, like, oh, they attach some writer, it's like whatever, that's not, like I heard about Indiana Jones 4 for like 15 years. It's just like, whatever, fine. Like I'll wait until I actually hear like, oh, they're having a meeting. Like, wow, like Lucas was on Entertainment Weekly. It's like, okay, this is actually happening. Because it's just so easy just to be like, no, we're not doing that movie, or just that TV show that we already have like 5 episodes banked. It's like, cancel it. Whereas like a game, there's just so much more weight attached to a game because it just takes longer. I think there's like more people involved over a longer period of time. Whereas like for film, you'll have like people run in and for like a couple weeks and then they're out. Like they never work on that. Where you have like hundreds of people day after day, week after week, month after month, like working on a game. So when a game gets canceled, there's just it's much more of a bummer. So like
then like one screenwriter being bummed out.
So
I get that.
Yeah. So like you look at Disney and you look at all of them films and like a pirate film for them is just like it's like we just gotta make sure we can get Johnny for that month, but then we're done. The movie's just happening. Whereas like Wolfenstein, like who knows in the whole process of developing this game how the genre is gonna trend. Like how even just people, the concept of Nazis and all, there's just so many things about it that could go wrong, that could steer the project in different ways that like if they come out too early. So again, why I'm fascinated with game advertising. It's just like when you choose to do that and actually come out, wave your flag and be like, this is a game, this is happening, pay attention to us.
So what you're saying though is you think it's a good idea to lock down the actors. You think it's a good idea to say, hey, don't talk about what the project you're working on. Yeah.
I mean, it's like Ming Na from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was like, they were like, oh, we'd love to use Mulan. Are you ever going to do that again? She's like, well, yeah, I'm in Infinity. It's like 6 months before they announced it. Yeah. They're cool. Like, they're ice cold, man. Like, Vignaki's just like, can't comment. Like, it's so obvious, Yeah. But, and one that springs to mind was, I can't remember her name, but Mary Jane in the first Spider-Man films with Tobey Maguire. Hello.
Kirsten Dunst?
Yeah, she talked about Venom or something, didn't she, before Spider-Man 3 came out? In some interview, just like, Venom. Yeah. Venom's gonna be cool.
The thing is, like,
thanks for that one.
those historical references matter so little because once you finally have the product and you see the movie, you play the game or whatever. Like, I don't remember her leaking that, but I do remember her leaking that. But I just remember the movies themselves for what they were. After all is said and done, it doesn't matter really, right? But beforehand, like I feel like the process leading up to release right now is more important than ever. And the word downgrade has been so important this past year. And it's because when people, throw stuff out there too early or things leak too early and people just start building their impressions based off something that's not been well prepared, that's a risk against your product.
I think though that there's like, because I'm way with you on trailers. I think trailers should never be shown early. I think I'm not feeling the same about somebody just saying, yeah, I'm working on Wolfenstein 2 right now.
Well, yeah, but that's different from being like, just freely talking about it. I mean, yeah, some details less important than others. Yes, I'm working on this game. Oh, by the way, we're making this game. They could have easily said, yeah, we're making this game. But the thing is when you do that and then you take a year to show a trailer or whatever, nobody really knows what's the best way to do it now.
Yeah.
There was a really good way to do it 5 to 10 years ago in that window, and that's kind of this, where you announce a name, like, yeah, we're working on it, maybe, sure, fine, then do a trailer, then do some gameplay, then do your preview coverage, and then release your game, and you're good. But you can't really do that anymore because, A, you have too many variables to control because an actress might leak some details about it. I don't think they're as concerned about her saying, yes, this game exists, as much as being like, oh, this game's going to have awesome grappling hooks, and then 6 months later they realize they can't make it work. But if they never set it and take it out of the game, we would never know. Yeah. And the game would be fine. But if you say this was in the game and then we took it out, everybody's like, downgrades! I'm not getting my money's worth. This sucks. And nobody's even paid for it yet. Like the fervor is ridiculous before a game comes out these days.
To Alicia's credit, all she said is, I'm still working on a computer game. I already did the first part. Now we're working on the second one. She didn't really say Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah.
I'm sure contract is safe.
Inferred that.
Yeah. I'm sure contract is safe. What's that?
Tangentially related side note. Prometheus 2, officially called Alien Paradise Lost.
Really?
Whoa.
Okay.
Is that just hot news?
I saw it this morning.
Hot off the press?
Hot off the presses. Ridley Scott.
Ooh, that news is hot.
No, that
Some
news
hot
is hot
news.
because of how like they were like it's not quite in the Alien universe with
Yeah.
Prometheus, and now it's just like yes, it is.
But at this point, it's kind of like I kind of would have like it's. We knew Prometheus 2 was happening.
Yeah.
And Prometheus 1 was a travesty.
Not a travesty.
Damon Lindelof made it a travesty. It looked nice, and there were 3 good parts.
Some good music in there.
Yeah. But it'd be cool to have just seen a trailer be like, Alien, Paradise Lost, and like
Yeah.
it like wins you back somehow. I don't know.
You're right.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
saying you would have rather it not even be announced yet, and you want to see
Yeah.
that trailer first.
Well, it's a weird situation because we knew that this was coming
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, we
did
did.
we assume Wolfenstein 2 was coming? Because, like, if it was some new IP and someone was like, "Oh yeah, this thing that we're doing," it's like kind of a non. I don't know.
The way our weird industry works is if a game sells well, it's getting a sequel.
Right.
Unless it's announced like this is our last one, and even then, it's usually there's still going to be
Even
a
then,
sequel.
then they give it
But
to
like
another studio.
Wolfenstein
Yeah.
can no longer impress you with its existence anymore. Like it's a thing now. So the next time you hear something about Wolfenstein, you'll be like, oh yeah, when were we going to hear more about this? Where's
Yeah.
Wolfenstein been? Whereas
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you wouldn't have had that thought. You would, oh wow, look at Wolfenstein.
Well-
We're talking about Wolfenstein today, guys. How about that? You know, like they lost that. So like if you're Fallout, you can your game can leak all over the place, and until Todd Howard comes on stage and goes, here it is. You know, it's like, oh my god, I'm so excited. There's so many new things you're talking about because like I knew the game. I might have known an actor or something, but like
Yeah.
I don't know there's housing. I don't know like how the dog works. Whereas like, can Wolfenstein do that? You know, are they going to have enough that's going to be different enough that's going to warrant like, oh my god, I got to play this. Of course they made this sequel. The first time they show it, you know, it's like whatever concept I had for a trailer as director, I probably got to think of another trailer now.
Yeah,
It's just like,
I
fuck,
think
okay.
I think my main thing is with the actors thing, like it's not so much about like the actors in there, but you know, depending on the context of the game or the series or whatever, it's it's knowing that those characters are in there, right? You know, like say something like the X-Men.
Sure.
You
I
know,
get you.
knowing that a character is in there can be a very big deal
Mm-hmm.
because you have your favorites.
Yeah, I
Well,
guess even
yeah.
knowing that this actor is in the sequel, even Anya, the voice of Anya.
Case in point, Kit from Game of Thrones. You know, people are following that guy like a hawk.
Right.
You know, and he's just like, yeah, working on the show is fun. And they're like, worked? You worked on Game of Thrones? You're still working? Are you in next season or what? You know, like,
Yeah.
And he hasn't cracked yet. You know, but
I think he said that he's like it's going to take the next couple of years of his life still.
right.
So,
but again, it's like there's nothing.
knows?
There's nothing. Confirmed.
Well, it's just like the guy being in the country is almost indicative, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's just what can you do at that point?
Also, that was
yeah.
a massive Game of Thrones spoiler.
Oh no! Did we just do a game of? I didn't even. I don't.
Like, he might not be around in the next season.
Brandon, I don't feel good about that. I don't
Oh
feel
my
good about what
God.
we
I've
just
heard-
did.
We're making it worse.
I've heard it come.
It's
I've
been
heard.
like
I've heard people
3
openly
months.
talking about it on the radio many times.
All
So
right.
I don't
It's
feel
been
bad
like
about
3
that one.
months. Like
Yeah,
trust me, we're not. I'm not gonna name drop spoilers.
we
right
got to
now.
move on.
I'm not sure who Kid is, so it doesn't-
More.
I can guess
Kid,
who
same
you're talking
thing.
about. So
More spoilers, another accidental game announcement. BioShock Collection showed up on an online outlet who actually previously leaked the Grey Ninja, Jigglypuff, and Splatoon amiibos. It's called Raru. It's a South African retailer. They listed the BioShock Collection for release on November 27th, very specific, on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, not surprising, right? BioShock Collection?
yeah, I mean they just
Not surprising or interesting.
it's not attached, but the System
It's-
Shock Enhanced Edition just came out too. So
Yeah.
Should I play BioShock 2? I didn't play BioShock 2.
BioShock 2 is
It's great
it's
DLC
okay.
for one.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
better than Infinite in some ways. It's better gameplay than 1, but less interesting in every other way.
How is it better than Infinite?
I don't know. It's just
If you're
Infinite
salty
got kinda
about
old.
Infinite.
Is this going to have Infinite and Burial Sea and all that
Oh,
stuff?
I mean, like, all they
Probably,
did was
yeah, yeah.
have the retail listing. This is, again,
Oh,
it was an
right.
accidental
I want
announcement.
details, damn it.
Yeah, I mean, this is why accidental announcements suck. Is like we're talking about it now on a podcast, and we don't have the details, and
But a whole sequel, to a kind of controversial, like, underdog, first-person shooter to just, like, a random package of games. It's like, that's definitely a different tier of
is-
like, oh, that
Brandon
got
hates
leaked.
your show,
yeah,
Bossman.
yeah. Look, this is
Oh, no, I mean, it's...
Brandon
it's,
hates you,
It's good to
Bossman.
compare both of them.
This is the news we get this week. I just take the news we
Yeah.
get. But I do. Do you think BioShock holds up? I honestly,
BioShock holds up.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay, I wanted to hear this.
Yeah.
I needed to hear this
The
opinion.
soundtrack of BioShock
But
holds
hang
up
on.
probably more than anything.
Bossman hates Bioshock.
Yeah.
Like you're
That-
just wrong from the start.
That's why I need to hear people's.
I got
tell me.
misty-eyed the first time I heard that soundtrack. I actually heard that soundtrack before I played the game. I remember like Ryan Stevens came in. And he was just like, "It's on the shared drive. It's on. Was it Predator? Was it Predator? Our old
Predator,
shared
oh
drive
my
the other
God.
day?
Yeah,
He's
before
like,
Nitro.
BioShock's on Predator, and I was like, oh, okay. I just like put it on in the background, and was like just that. Even just the very first track is just like so haunting, so sad, so profound.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's
So,
just
and, when I did the backtrack episodes for BioShock, and I replayed the first one, it's just like, and this is so
Did
just
we-
freaking good with the mood.
I can't remember who was on staff when we did the top 10 openings. I know we did that. I wonder if that was on there. That game opens with a bang. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's
You mean
was a
the
great
gameplay
opening.
part or the first little video?
From the
Well,
from the
everything.
plane crash
Yeah.
to the
Plane crash,
getting
yeah,
going
the
down.
rain. all
In.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
so
Actually,
good.
that's probably a top 10 opening.
it's a dynamo. We
Uh,
might have screwed up and not put it on the list.
Here's my thing with Bioshock is that soundtrack's great, and then just suddenly a little flying helicopter throws off an alarm, and you can't hear any of that music because there's a flying helicopter inside of this place.
But no,
But
it's
Only if
dynamic.
you suck at the game.
Yeah.
You don't understand how
As
the music
opposed
works
to
if
a
you're
not
saying that.
flying helicopter.
Yeah, there's flying helicopters, little
Yeah, yeah.
drones.
As opposed to helicopters that don't fly.
I mean, some don't.
Some
when
just
they're
drop.
landed.
Some just drop. They're the
little drone.
Yeah.
So it's mid-flight,
But
okay.
that's all part of the audio design. Is like there's specifically like a lot of that game that
Yes,
doesn't
but-
even have music.
Yeah. Just like I freaking love games with blaring alarms for half of it.
Well, if you didn't suck, you wouldn't have.
You wouldn't have-
He's
you wouldn't
just
have blaring
baiting
alarms.
us.
Oh, man.
But
He's
anyway.
just baiting us.
But just
you
like
can say
hearing
that about Metal Gear. You can be like, yeah, the alarms all the time. It's
Yeah.
like
Because
yeah,
I'm
you
good.
just
Because I'm
kinda
good at
you
Metal.
just, like, outed
Because Metal
yourself.
Gear is an actual stealth game with stealth mechanics. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. You know what? I shouldn't get into Bioshock. I'm so salty.
does-
Well, Metal Gear is now doing what BioShock did, where in a lot of the older games, there's no chance you could like clear an area. There's no chance like some dude's just gonna randomly walk into the room like this area's cleared.
Yeah.
Whereas like that happened to me all the time in BioShock, where like I'd hear a sentry gun go off in like another room and be like, oh, I guess there's someone in there. I thought I cleared that area out, but like
Oh yeah, it's because he
I just didn't
spawned
know.
in.
He did not spawn in. It's not the way the game works.
All right.
It's a good game.
Bioshock's good.
I didn't beat it when I first played it, and then I went back and finished it and was like, oh yeah, okay, that wasn't.
I mean, the very ending is not great.
Yeah, it's
Right.
That is a bad.
The
ending.
stuff before it was cool.
I don't
I
know
will
if you could
say-
say the very ending. It's like the last 20 or 30 minutes.
For a video game, that's the
The
ending.
very
Yeah.
ending. Okay, all right.
The other like slightly less maybe interesting bits, like I played 1 and 2 on PC actually, and I'm not gonna get on Master Race or anything, but it looked really good compared to the console versions or whatever. I'm not sure they need to do anything to it. I think they're really just packaging them together and selling them again.
Yeah, it's called BioShock Collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a big deal there.
Oh, and it is for Xbox
60
One,
frames.
PS4. Yeah, we'll get those 60 frames. November 27th is very soon. I mean, I suspect that this will be announced by the time this goes up. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be announced so soon.
Is that like directly on Black Friday? When does that happen this year?
November 27th. It sounds like Black Friday.
Maybe.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a perfect time for that.
When is Paris Games Week again?
Soon.
Or PSX? When
Yeah,
is?
I'm not used to
PSX
these.
is December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Paris Games Week might be October. Would you Google that for us?
All right.
Thank you. While we do that, we'll move on to, we're going to do a fun new segment. This is Who Apologized Best. We have 3 big delays this week. I'm going to read the apology, okay? And then I want you all to judge the apology. You're going to give it a score, give it a rating, interrupt me anytime to say that's nonsense or that's actually very good. The first one we have is the Hitman. That's just called Hitman now. Hitman was delayed till 2016 this week.
I think it was always just called Hitman.
It is, yeah. And so
October 28th through November 1st.
that is Paris Games Week is October?
Yeah.
Cool. Late October. Look forward to that. Okay, here we go. This was just put on their site on hitman.com. It's safe to say Hitman is the biggest venture we've ever undertaken at IO Interactive. Not just in terms of scope and ambition, but also in terms of the size of the game world itself. The playable area and density of our locations goes beyond anything we've built before. We're striving to create a series of living, breathing worlds in those locations, and we get pretty obsessed about every detail that you'll experience. On top of that, we're going for a new release model where we put out a good chunk of the game when it begins and then release the remaining locations over time. We want to make absolutely sure you get all the best possible experience when you join. Sorry, added the word "the all." We want to make sure you all get the best possible experience when you join. So we've made the difficult decision to move the initial release date to March 2016. Those few extra months will mean we can add more to the launch content of the game, more than we had originally planned, and then follow with a tighter frequency of updates, which ultimately will create a better game for everyone. And in the end, that's what we're all looking for. To give you a sense of the scale when it comes to our various
going.
locations,
Oh my God.
we've compared our Paris
Two more
showstopper
paragraphs.
mission to the largest level in Hitman Absolution.
No,
So
Lucian.
wait, stop.
What?
So they're making the first episode release bigger?
Yes.
Yeah.
So then this is great. They're like, hey, we decided our stupid first idea was stupid, so we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Win. Success.
As you can see, lots of challenges, plenty of space to set up death traps, and a huge supply of targets for contracts mode. Moving a launch date is never an easy decision. We know it's frustrating to have to wait a bit longer for the game, but we truly believe it will mean we can deliver a better launch and overall experience. We'll share more details next week about the full release schedule and scope of Hitman in general, so keep a lookout for that.
Context?
Sure.
That was a blog post on their own website?
Yes.
Not like a press blast, please read this to all your readers, right?
It's tricky because their website's really nice. We'll do another one that's much more clearly a blog post. I don't know. I think it's basically a press release because it had graphics of like, look how little our levels used to be, and now look how big they are.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
Stupid levels.
like,
yeah. This was meant to go out to other blogs. This was
Okay.
meant to be shared.
okay. I just mean like, when you're in the environment of Hitman and you're clearly interested in it, you're going to go and read this and probably be happy with them.
Oh yeah,
trying
this
to
is the
address
thing
it.
that goes out to Kotaku and goes out to Polygon. This is the thing that goes out to IGN.
Us too.
Yeah, us too.
I don't
yeah.
think they did send a press release.
Hey, we're a big hitter in the video games industry. Right, but I mean, this is a thing that they know will be reported on. Like, this is their announcement of the delay.
Right.
I definitely don't like the attitude at the beginning. Like, I get a little bit ill when somebody's just like, so it turns out, as we figured out in the development of this game, that we're just too damn good at making games. And these environments that we're building are just too damn good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really where we're at. The quality level is really hamstringing us right now.
Yeah, we got to dial it down.
So I went, and then Ian made the classic point. 3 paragraphs in, he's like, "Oh, is this the point? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine. I can live with that."
Yeah,
and,
exactly, yeah.
Just come out. That's what I'm looking for in the rest of these. Just kind of like, I don't want to hear your life story. I don't need you to cry about it. I want to know why. I actually want to know exactly why.
Yeah.
Because that's probably a fascinating story, and I'll probably be like, okay, whatever. It's like if you can't, if you got to go to work and you can't drive your kids to Disneyland, don't delay it. Just tell your kids, sorry, we're not going to Disneyland today. We're going tomorrow. Okay, I'll cry
Yeah.
about it, but I'll get through it, as opposed to just like waiting and waiting and waiting. Just get into it.
Oh, like Persona.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Still salty about
Rip
that.
I
Band
hate
it off.
spin. I love it when people are just like, yeah, this sucks. Here's the truth.
So how would we
But I also love spin because it's fascinating.
how would we rate this? How would we rate this apology?
Seems worse.
How would we like on an A to F or?
Yeah. Let's do
10-point
A to
scale?
F. We do 10-point scale all the time. Let's grade
Okay.
it. Let's give it a letter grade.
Like plus, minus?
B
You
minus.
can do
B
plus or
minus.
minus.
I'm
All
feeling B minus,
Why do you
yeah.
feel B minus, Blood? You haven't said much about this apology.
It is long-winded, and so it's just kind of funny to hear them go on, and then I hate when they start getting into like, our maps are so big, so much bigger
Oh,
than
yeah.
before, and it's like, I understand why that's a challenge, but at the same time, like, I don't need you to compare the map size and all of that. So it's just, just come out and say, it's like, yeah, we wanted to give people more upfront. And not make them wait as long, and go with that.
Blair, what's your grade?
I'm going to share the grade, but I honestly, I think a B minus is kind of decent. I mean,
Oh,
this is
B minus. I'd be happy with a B minus when I was in school.
This is like I said before. This is a blog post on their own website. I don't know if they really like blasted this out so hard, like in the exact same context. But if it's posted on their own website, sure, feel free to just pander to your audience as much as possible, and that's
Sure.
what I felt from that.
I get that.
There's a lot of pandering in there with a little bit of detail, but like they really want you to see their point of view. So B minus.
Ian, do you have a letter grade?
Yeah, I think a B minus is about right.
We're all giving it a B minus.
Well, because, yeah, it was well done. It was respectful. It was a little too long. But yeah, I
that's a
mean,
B minus,
if
sure.
they had done what we had wanted them to do and just been like, game's coming out later, we're making the first chunk bigger,
Yeah.
we would have been like, whoa, hey, soften the blow. So
Sure.
you can't win. We're dirtbags.
It's also kind of funny just to be like, hey, so you remember when we announced Hitman? That game that we were making at that time had these crappy levels. Like, that game would have been terrible. But we're making the game better, so look forward to that.
I mean,
It's like,
this delay is actually fantastic. I'm so happy about this delay. I think the game they were going to ship was very incomplete, and they were admitted it's incomplete. It's like, we're going to upload it with more stuff for free as it goes on. It's just like, don't.
The whole model was we aren't finishing this game in time.
I'm happy for that delay, to be honest. Next delay, this happens.
Well, you guys know the model of the actual game, right? Hitman. Sorry, I mean
this is way different. This model's with this one with the reboot, they're going with something completely different.
Well, yeah, but their plan is to, I don't know how similar it is, but I got the Diablo 3 Seasons type mentality where every once in a while they just kind of update you.
No,
either with a new map.
This is like, hey, we finished the first 30% of the game, so here's that.
Yeah, it was going to launch with 1 or 2 worlds.
Here's that.
But
here's the next 10%. Here's that.
But some missions will go live for a period of time, then come down and go live again. Like they'll alternate missions that are available to you online. That's part of the game method, and we've known that for months now.
Yeah, but it's like the missions are like, it's like here you're in Paris, and then that's it. You know, the missions all exist within Paris.
It's like Destiny, kind of.
Yeah, and so it's just like, it's like, hey, we have these big worlds, but like that's all you have. We're not going to other places. And so when the game finally launches in March 2016, we'll have more than just Paris.
Do people like that? I feel like people don't like that.
I don't hate it. I'll definitely wait, though. I'm not going to,
Well, dude, it's this
I'll play that when it first comes out. I'll just wait till it's all
But the
done.
waiting game, I think that feels like the strategy they're taking is trying to curtain that off and say, no, you're going to want to come back at least once a week because there's going to be fresh new missions every week.
Yeah, but not new levels.
That feels like
the new missions all take place in the same worlds that you already
I don't
have.
really know the specifics on that. All I know is that they've engineered that type of a functionality for this game from a pretty early standing.
We'll cover it in corrections next week.
Yeah,
Right,
no, it's like, honestly, it's like one of the bummers of modern game design. You know what I mean? It's the Metal Gear Solid 5 problem. It's just like big video game worlds that have the flexibility we want take forever to make.
Yeah.
And millions and millions of dollars to make. And that's the issue with Hitman. It's like they want to give us the freedom we had in other Hitman games. They want to give us more freedom than we had in those games. But it's so expensive. And so, I mean, like, that is the issue with this game. And eventually they buckled. They had to say, we gotta delay this.
I think everyone should just like announce games later, or instead of give less specific. You know, I mean, like, I like it when people are like, probably Q4, Q1, 2015, 2016. You know, we're not sure yet. Or like indie developers when they just go, it comes out when it's done.
Indies can totally do that.
I'm like,
that when they do
that's
that.
the way to do it.
Yeah.
Like, or like Fallout 4. That was cool.
That was cool.
They were like, hey, this game comes
If it
out
doesn't
in
get delayed.
5 months. Well, right, it might.
I mean, that one was leaked by casting notices, actually. Like, it's
The existence of it.
Yeah, that's that whole thing. Let's move on to our next delay. Star Fox Zero was delayed late last week. So this, just for some context for Blair, this comes from Nintendo's Facebook account.
Okay.
This was posted on their Facebook. This is how they communicated this to everyone. A message from Mr. Miyamoto regarding Star Fox Zero. I made a big decision last week. New paragraph. We have been developing Star Fox Zero for Wii U with the aim of releasing it this year. Although we felt that the development had been progressing well, we now believe that we will need a little more time to work on areas such as the unprecedented discovery that we want players to experience in the game by using 2 screens, the further polishing the level designs, and perfecting the tone of the cutscenes. While we have already reached the stage where it would be technically possible to release the title in time for the year-end holiday season, we want to polish the game a bit more so that players will be able to smoothly grasp the new style of play that we are promising. To the people looking forward to the launch of the game this holiday season, I am very sorry. Star Fox Zero is going to bring a new gameplay and experiences that take it far beyond the framework established by Star Fox 64. All the members of the development team are doing our best so that the final product will not betray your expectations, and the game will not be delayed for a very long time. We're aiming for the launch of the game to be in Q1 2016. Please stay tuned for further announcements.
To me, I think that sounds like Anthony was right last night when he said that the game is bad and they realized it.
Who is Anthony?
Anthony Carboni, he was our
Carboni.
guest on GT Live. He's a TV personality, blah, blah, blah.
Great, love context.
But yeah, he was basically saying, like, yeah, he played the demo and it was bad. And, like, that to me, because, like, there's no way in hell Nintendo should be delaying their only game past holiday season. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, you know what?
not their only game,
What
yeah.
I think gets lent to that is that
It is
players
their
will be
only
able to
game.
more smoothly grasp
Yeah.
the new style of play. That is to me means that the demos weren't doing well.
Yeah, people hated it.
Yeah, I honestly think I hear that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those. It's one of those things where the controls kind of have to click, and some people, like I didn't have that big of a problem with it. As like,
You had a blast with this game,
Took me a
right?
second,
Me too.
and it's
I had
like,
fun.
I got it. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is cool.
Also had
But because the control scheme was so different, it's like at first it's like, whoa, where's this? Okay, I get it. But I think other people, especially people that are very familiar with Star Fox 64. Or it's kind of, it takes a second to wrap your head around. Oh, this is new. This is different. Do I like this or not? And so.
To me, I think it was more of the gameplay maybe than the controls. 'Cause
The
it seemed
gameplay
like the
itself-
gameplay was fairly bland.
I mean, the look is definitely intentionally sparse, but the gameplay is essentially in the same vein as Star Fox 64. So.
That's interesting to me too, is that they're focusing on Star Fox 64 as much as we are in our memories, because every game that's come out since then has been kind of like either a weird experiment that was kind of rejected or Star Fox 64 again, which is kind of fine because it's still a great game.
Yeah.
And you don't really have that type of a game from Nintendo outside of maybe original Super Mario Brothers, where you can sit down and beat it and then be like, cool. A few months later, do it again. Why not? I feel like just having fun.
Oh, in one sitting, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of the base design of Star Fox 64. Originally on Super Nintendo, of course, Star Fox is basically the same game. Just,
No, man, I think you're just hardcore. I never beat Star Fox on the Super Nintendo.
you're supposed
Really?
to.
You're supposed to sit
You're
down and
supposed
beat
to
that in one day?
in one sitting. Yeah.
No
Oh, yeah.
way.
That's the point of the design of the game. That's why it's so simple. Like
You two are hardcore bros.
Well, every planet is one level, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, like in a Mario game, traditionally you got 8 worlds with a whole bunch of levels within or whatever. You can still beat that in one sitting if you do like warp pipes, or if you just memorize it really good at it, whatever.
Yeah.
But the whole design around Star Fox is to be able to beat it in one sitting, and then be like, okay, next time I'm going to take a different path.
Matt, do you think a game would be destroyed in reviews today if you could beat it in one sitting?
No, I don't. I mean, why not have a game like that? Like when we have every type of game ever, and then new genres emerging, why not still have the type of game where it's on a spectrum of beat it in one setting to never beat it? Like, why not have games at both ends? We can have as many games as we want.
It's
so
because
why
it
not
costs
have one like this?
because it costs $60.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of
I would pay
people that just
$60
simplify
for
it
Star
to
Fox
hours.
64 again. I've bought Star Fox 64 3 times, if you include Virtual Console, and
Sure.
I have a blast. Sit down, play through it once. I feel like taking this path. I mean, the design of the game is good enough. Why do you think we still are fine with sitting down and playing Super Mario Brothers on the NES?
You can beat Silent Hill 3 in like 3 hours.
Super Mario Brothers on the NES is not $60.
Super Metroid you can beat in a sitting.
Silent Hill 3 why can you beat that in 3 hours? You're doing
Short game.
You're doing a maniac speed run though at that point,
I mean,
right?
the first playthrough is probably like 5 or 6,
Okay.
but like
I
you can
fully-
get through it in 2 hours.
Fully anticipate
2-3
corrections. I'm not going to correct you, but what you just said,
What?
you're going to get corrected.
What about Silent Hill 3?
No, the launch price for Super Mario Brothers on the NES.
No. Right now it's not $60. You said
I know, but it was a new game at some
I'm
point.
saying expectations change. Right now there's an expectation. If you can beat a game in a day, you do not spend $60 on
What
it.
are they going to do in 5 months to make
false.
this game like substantially better?
That's what I don't
Oh,
think.
they're perfecting the tone of the cutscenes, Brandon.
But it's like it was just so crystal clear to me the first time I saw gameplay of this. It was
Yeah.
like, it's like when we saw the blurry stuff behind Miyamoto, it's like that kind of looks really simple, and then I saw it like, it actually is totally as simple as it originally looked. I guess that's Star Fox, okay. And so when I played it, like I wasn't really focusing on like how deep it would be or how radically different the actual minute-to-minute gameplay. Like you're still just flying through rings and shooting objects and stuff like that. But like the gamepad stuff was interesting. Like it was interesting to see the system do that with the gamepad, not necessarily interesting to see Star Fox do that. And so like once this game identified itself as like clearly not like the super major next evolution in Star Fox, it was just another Star Fox game.
It's named Star Fox Zero.
It worries me that like this delay makes them think that they're gonna make a game that's way better than this game's gonna be. Because I guess it doesn't. I don't know. I'm not saying it doesn't need to be, but I never thought it was from the moment I saw the gameplay. It was just like, oh, it's that.
I mean,
it's gonna be that level of quality.
Nintendo rarely iterates. Like they just make something 3D.
What do you mean they rarely iterate? All they do is iterate.
No, yeah, they iterate without changing.
Okay.
They never evolve.
Oh, I disagree with that.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
mean.
But I think there's clearly
No,
some
I mean,
projects though.
Mario's just the same game with a different power up.
No.
But there's a big difference between something like the Chibi Robo game coming to 3DS, which I played and was like, okay, and Luigi's Mansion 2, which clearly like had a lot of love.
True.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Or Donkey Kong compared to some other platform that they've done.
So you're saying this
like,
isn't that? This isn't a top tier. It doesn't feel like a top tier franchise for them.
No, but it's not. I'm not like bummed when I'm playing it. It's just like, oh, okay, this
is
isn't
what
the
this
time
is.
to reinvent Star Fox. Got it. It's just making more. Thank you for making a Star Fox game. Now make Metroid.
Let us grade a Mr. Miyamoto's Facebook post.
C+.
Whoa, why?
Because yeah, our criticism of the first one was that they didn't get to specifics enough. I don't think he really gets to specifics here at all, and I think it's a little too poor me. It's a little too like, hey guys. I mean, it was the tone that you read it in, but like,
yeah.
it really seemed just like, I know we're all sad about that, and it's like that you need to not waste our time and get to the point immediately.
Sure.
And I also understand it could be lost in translation, so maybe that's not fair.
No, I mean the word sorry is there in there. You know what I mean? And it certainly wasn't there in the Hitman one.
Well, in that first paragraph, that's just a sentence of "I made a difficult choice."
Yeah.
It's like I had to kill my dog today.
I made a big decision last week. Yeah.
And all your, I didn't borrow your lawnmower and lose it. Like you didn't pay me anything yet. We're just delaying the game. It's like, so, I don't know if it's really a sorry level kind of thing. Like, I know it's business, whatever. Just tell me what's going on.
Sure.
Just keep me in the loop so I can be in the loop and still appreciate your product.
Blood, what's your grade?
I'd probably be a B.
Okay.
I think it actually to me it did feel very specific, in the sense that it's like, yeah, this is. I think anyone is expecting some huge, enormous change is not there. It's like, no, this is just some tweaks so that like, yeah, you can get into it easier. And that they just like, oh yeah, we I like that they say like, yeah, we could put this out, but it's not going to be that great. So why are we going to rush it? Like, what's the point of rushing this?
Sure.
And I do think the apologies is very much just, yeah, that's a Japanese kind of thing.
Sure. Wait, what's up, Brandon?
Just devil's advocate. I mean, at the same time, it's just like, it's done. It's done. I mean, I could give it to you now. I could totally do that. Like, I do have a nice car. I just don't have it in here. Like, I totally have a girlfriend. She just lives in Canada. It's like, it's a little silly. It's like, okay. Your game's still not coming out. You can say that all you want. We could just. There's a game right there. I mean,
we could be like other studios.
Like, we're not bad developers. We just want to be gooder. Like,
Ubisoft would probably put this out, but we're not. Yeah, that is what he's doing. You're
again,
right.
I see both sides.
Ubisoft likes to hit holiday seasons.
I think
true.
the apologies are also partly because they said very concisely that this game and Zelda would be out this year. Now neither one of them.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah.
What a rough year. Blair, what's your grade?
I don't get it. I mean, like, that was some hard salt that was just poured all over the table.
So
right
give it a
there.
good grade. Give it a good
I'm
grade.
gonna give it an S.
Whoa, I love that. That's an S rank apology?
It's fine. Like, these guys don't have to really apologize for all that much, but I mean, we're in this kind of weird culture where it's like, if he doesn't say something perfectly, he's gonna get torn to shreds. That's an incredible amount of pressure over something where if you know you need to take the time to make the product worth it, then you do it. He made that choice. I think the only thing that makes that choice difficult is us.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's some sense you have some splaining to do. Like Blood said, Zelda and Star Fox were supposed to come out this year, and they both didn't. You got some splaining to do. All you got is Super Mario Maker? Come on. What are you doing at Nintendo? Like, you have to explain something. You can't just be like, I think you have to at some point, like, get straight and just I think
Here's
he does
the thing.
explain a lot of the things in here, but like,
And I'll be happy for somebody to do the research for me because I'm always busy and lazy, but I don't think that they ever said anything but we're targeting 2015.
no, they said more than
He
that.
made fun of Zelda coming out and said, "Hey, my game's coming out."
Yeah, and they also they posted calendars that said 2015 on it. Like they did much more than said targeting 2015.
All right. And if that's enough for somebody to spend $350 on a console, then all right, I feel bad for you that you have to wait longer to play this game that you're still going to get on that console you paid for. But don't we want the games to be better? Like when these guys come out, they didn't just say release dates next year. Fuck you. He's coming out and giving you a heartfelt and sincere apology, hoping that you don't dox him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get. Like, he didn't actually say the things that you said,
right.
And if he said those things, I'd probably laugh my ass off and think, "Oh my God, that guy's a dick." But these are the words straight from Miyamoto, not from Nintendo, right? And of course, you go back to like Japanese culture, where they're used to taking like personal responsibility for that stuff.
Oh
And
yeah,
we've seen
I
a
think
lot
it
of
is actually really
examples
cool he
for that
wrote
sort
it.
of thing.
Sure.
And so he tried to make it as heartfelt as possible because, frankly, I think he's talking to the fans who are constantly trying to communicate with him, social media and whatever, and making the most noise about how they really want this game. And it's like, well, those people are going to really want this game. If we wait a couple months and give them a product that they're really going to remember, sure, let's try and do that. Okay. I think that's what he communicated. I don't know.
That's an S rank. Ian, what's your letter grade?
I give it a participation award.
Whoa.
He's trying to
We have one more. This one's quick. I'll do it quick. This is the delay of Sonic Boom Fire and Ice. That was announced this week.
Thank God.
This was on Sega Blog. Hello, everyone. All right, classy people. Today we've got some news for you. Some of you might initially see it as negative, but I'm here to tell you why it's a good thing. The team at Sega has decided to delay the release of Sonic Boom Fire and Ice, which we announced for the Nintendo 3DS earlier this year. In order to make sure this game has the time and polish needed, we're moving it out into 2016. No exact window from us just yet. It'll be ready when it's ready. That's an exclamation point there. In the grand scheme of things, while the downside is that you won't be playing the game this year, the upside is that you'll play next year. What you'll play next year and what fans will continue to play for years after they pick up the game will be a stronger, more enjoyable experience. We think that's important, not just for this one game, but for all future Sonic titles. Questions? Comments? Favorite desserts? We welcome them all in the comments. And we'll have more news on Sonic Boom, Fire and Ice as we move towards next year. Aaron.
Man, I was really hoping that would have been signed Sonic.
Yeah, I know.
Like the voice you were using, I was like, did Sonic say this? Sonic.
Oh boy.
What's that blue thing in the graphic? Did you cut off the title?
That is a little bit of the title, yeah.
Oh my God! Why is that one part of the title lower than the
yeah.
rest?
I'm sorry.
Who are these people? No, I'm mad at the title.
I think, yeah, that might be the R in Fire. Or maybe, I don't know, Fire and Ice.
It's gotta be ice.
Yeah.
But you just got to, she's just doing her job. You know what I mean? Or whoever.
Aaron, that's a man.
Aaron.
With an
Oh,
A?
Aaron.
Yeah.
You can't just say the name Aaron and get mad at him for thinking it's a woman.
That's
It's
very
a-
true.
it's a
Yeah. I forgot
unisex
about
name.
Aaron.
Without
with me.
seeing the
Aaron's just doing his job, right, Matt?
or
You know?
spelling.
You can't say
No,
that's
no, no.
better or
See,
worse than
all
the
right.
other apologies.
The tone of that is obviously different, right?
All right, classy people.
Forget
Yeah.
forget the premeditated voice that he used because it was a Sonic game, but the tone of the words chosen obviously way different. I mean, that only makes the other ones better.
Yeah, it's
I love
funny.
those emails, though. The snarky emails you get with announcements and stuff
Oh,
like that
yeah.
from PR people. Those are the best.
Yeah. I was so mad at Bloomberg earlier for twisting their headline. Like, this was the opposite of journalism, what I've done today with those voices I read this with. You know what? One part I do like about this is when he says, what fans will continue to play for years after they pick up the game. I think a lot of times video game publishers don't at least communicate like these games, or at least think about it. Like, these games exist longer than the 1 month they're making money off of it from. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the games stay on shelves and people play them. And yeah, I think we forget
Sonic
about that a
Boom,
lot.
though?
Even Sonic Boom.
To be honest with you, some of the ways that he phrased those things sounded to me like he just kind of recorded his own internal session with other people being like, here's my internal PR presentation about how we're talking up our own product. All right, now just copy and paste some of that into a press blast and send it to everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, no, but this isn't the crap that we want to hear.
Well, I mean, he's not saying anything. Like, there's a clear line in all of these apologies where, like, they're actually saying something or they're not. You know, it's just like, we really wanted to get this game ready by launch. Garbage, obviously. You know, it's like, we really want to make an experience that everybody will enjoy. Yeah, you're wasting my time. You know, it's like, of course. Duh. Like, who's going to come out and apologize and be like, we actually didn't care whether we hit this date or not. We really don't care about our audience. We're just kind of just doing whatever we want.
That's why I think they got to stop announcing these things so early. Like, the only delay announcement that I want to hear is like, we were totally on target, but our office burned down, so now we're screwed.
I hear that.
Sorry.
I was actually kind of thinking about that with Nintendo. It's like he didn't acknowledge at all that they've been scrambling around trying to figure out who's going to be president. It's like,
Sure.
how much time does that take away from
You're
the
right.
development of Star Fox?
You know what, Blood? That's fair. They've had other problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to say on Brandon's experience drop, Hitman 3 experiences, Star Fox 2, Sonic Boom, Fire and Ice, only one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they win.
They win. Well, let's give some letter grades. What do you think
Yeah,
about that apology, Brandon?
That's a D from
Whoa, ouch. Why D?
Sonic. Because it's just condescending. Gross.
Okay. Blood, what's your letter grade?
My perception is so tainted by the last Sonic Boom games. I don't know.
Again, you got some splaining to do, right? Like when you come in here, you have to really prove Sonic Boom can be a good game.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing. Is like, I don't believe that you're going to make a good Sonic game until you make a good Sonic game. So, we delayed this because it's bad. Oh, well, the last ones should have just been canceled. So I guess that's an improvement.
Blood bringing the fire.
Blood coming alive. Fire and Ice from Blood over here. Maybe that's the thing, though. Maybe this announcement isn't for us. It's for the people. Is it kids? Who plays these?
But that's the thing. Like,
it's
I don't
for
even
the
know
people
what
who like
Sonic
these
fans
games.
were looking forward to.
Right.
Fire and Ice.
Right.
Like, it
Yeah.
just feels like the throwaway. We got to put this out because we have a TV show right now.
Yeah. So that's for that to miss its date is so funny. Did you give it a letter grade?
No, I don't know.
Gotta give it a letter grade.
Okay. I'll go with a D too. So
Okay.
sure.
Matt Blair, what's your grade?
Hard D.
Hard D.
Yep.
We don't talk about hard Ds on
Yeah,
the
we
show. It's a
got-
family show.
I'm just talking about grades.
Okay.
We're just talking about grades right now.
Why is this a hard D?
The tone. I mean, again, like, you have to kind of see past the voice you used.
Yeah.
But it was fitting. It was fitting. You clearly had read it before, and that's like, when you're done with reading it, that's the tone you come away with.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if you intended that, Kyle, but if you did, it was perfect.
It was a reading.
That's the tone I got. I got the GameStop
What's up,
guy.
fancy people? What is it?
All right, classy people.
All right, classy people.
Today we've got some news for you. Ian, what's your letter grade for this?
I'm going to give it a check plus.
Ooh, not bad.
Because it was zesty.
Yeah, it was
fun.
Hey, like this person, Aaron knows.
Yeah, he knows. He's like, this guy hates Sonic Boom. He hates this game. And he's like, all right, for the 7 people who are interested in this, they're probably like really innocent, lovely people.
Yeah.
I'm going to just hit them with positivity.
Cool.
He's check plus. Aaron, good job.
Good job, Aaron.
That's the thing though with this. I feel like Sonic Boom, Fire and Ice didn't need any kind of a letter. Like there's not a huge amount of people like I gotta get my hands on that.
Oh, sure.
Like,
True.
Oh, it's coming next year.
It's a tweet.
It would have been better to just not
tweet would do
not
it.
say
100
anything.
characters.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
fine.
Let's do a couple of baby news stories, just tiny ones. 1 terabyte PlayStation 4 Call of Duty Black Ops 3 bundle has been announced. That's what it looks like. It's like black, but with the logo of Black Ops 3 is like on the PS4. Very
Every
vibrant
part of that is
controller.
gross.
Bloodware says every part of it is gross.
The
I
thing,
can do
the
that
thing
to mine
that's-
with a marker.
The thing that's funny, I mean, it's not a great design, but the thing that's funny to me is like Forbes or somebody did an article that was just like, the new 1 terabyte PlayStation 4 is hideous or whatever. And I was just like, well, it's the Call of Duty 3 PS4.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like shit.
Well-
But like, it's got the game on it. So like, if you care about that game, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that is the only 1 terabyte PS4 you can buy currently. It costs $450, which is also interesting because last week we were thinking like there's going to be a PS4 price cut this year. Now I'm thinking there might not be. If this is $450 1 terabyte with Call of Duty bundled in, I think the other bundles would be $400 with 5 gigabytes. And so I think that that's usually what you can buy a PS4 with right now.
500.
5 gigabytes.
500,
Okay.
yeah.
I was
500
gonna say like,
gigabytes.
how does this work?
10 years ago. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a price cut anymore. Do we still feel good about there being a price cut on PS4?
They'll cut the terabyte to 400.
Yeah, I mean, with the PS3, we saw how many different iterations of hard drive space between the original launch version and then the slim version and then the weird, like, opening top one. I don't
Yeah.
know what that is. But the price cuts didn't really come into play. They just replaced the models. I anticipate kind of the same thing here, where it's like still going to be $400 by the end of the year, but or maybe next year. But it's now a terabyte hard drive in it.
Yeah.
And what is a terabyte hard drive going to cost you by the end of the year? $100? At some point, I've already upgraded mine. Mine's 750 gigs right now,
Oh,
and
boy.
that cost me $55 or something like that. Just
Can
to
you
make
do
it.
solid state?
Yes, you can.
Ooh.
Yep, it actually does affect load times too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
Worth it.
Ooh.
Yep.
So wait, $55
Worth it.
solid state hard drive?
No, 750 spinning drive.
Oh, okay.
But whatever. I mean, I actually had it laying around from whatever. But
Okay.
that's roughly what you pay to get that size of a hard drive right now. And I'm sure you could put a terabyte, 2.5 inch in there if you wanted to.
My second question, real quick, is: do you think we'll see this every year? Now that PlayStation and Call of Duty are buddies, are we going to see a bundle? Are we going to see a special edition console that with cool Call of Duty colors on it?
Haven't we kind of seen one every year, regardless? It was Xbox's game.
Xboxes had think like 3 or 4 Call of Duty editions. They definitely had one last year. Their 1 terabyte last year was the Call of Duty one. So yeah, I mean, like basically it's just like Sony's turn, I guess.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're Sony and it's like, hey, we want to do a bundle, and you'd be like, okay, Activision, you gonna pay for it? Yeah. All right, fine, do it.
Oh, I don't think Activision's paying a penny for this.
This is one heck of an episode.
What does that mean?
We're at an hour already.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move on. Thank you, Ian.
It's a heck of an episode.
Mega Man Legends is coming to the PlayStation store next week. You can buy it for $10. Well, you're the one who started this conversation. Daniel Warren says, question for the panel. Given the surprisingly fun and interesting reaction from Nintendo's audience to Mario Maker, do you think Nintendo would expand the series to other IPs? Would you want them to?
Oh, Metroid Maker.
With the next Zelda or Metroid game possibly several years away, it's hard not to find some appeal in the idea of playing other people's ideas for 8-bit Zelda dungeons or Super Metroid-style caverns while we wait. Would love your thoughts. Ian already shared yours. You're in for a Metroid.
Dude, Metroid Maker, but they link everyone's levels together, so it's a huge Metroidvania game that goes forever.
I don't know if
It would be terrible.
Well,
Yeah, it'd be awful.
I love it.
See, Metroid is intricately designed.
Oh, yeah.
That one I think you cannot play around with, is my feeling.
Yeah.
Or you could you'd
It
have
also
to put
doesn't
like
have
a limit
levels.
on it.
Yeah.
You'd have to put a limit on it somehow, where it's like you design this cave level and you use this upgrade. Like if
Yeah.
you can use one upgrade and then it makes one game out of everybody who used the different upgrades.
Sure. I
That
can
could
imagine
work.
that actually, yeah.
Ooh.
I think one of the most successful things about Mario Maker is how quickly you can get through everyone's content, and you can't get through Metroid quickly. I think Castlevania is the main franchise they could do something with.
Ooh. Castlevania Maker.
Same-
Yeah,
that's
I'd
the exact same.
rather-
or
Exactly.
Mega Man. I know came up. Castlevania's
Like a
potentially-
linear
it could potentially
Castlevania?
be more
Yeah.
linear,
Not
than-
Metroidvania.
No, yeah, but just
Okay.
old classic, yeah.
So not a Symphony of the Night style.
Right.
I mean, graphically, yeah, but
That'd be
not-
the same argument as Metroid, though, where it's
Right,
like
yeah.
you need a certain item
It'd
to
be
get through a
awesome.
certain area.
But it would be kind of what it is now, and maybe you could advance because the boss stuff in the game, you just kind of drop Bowser in there and he's the boss. But
Yeah.
it'd be cool to have like a boss system where you could set
Yeah.
up. You can make any one enemy like a boss and make them bigger and add functionality.
Yeah,
to
as
it.
far as Nintendo stuff, I think it's tricky with either Zelda or Metroid because they rely more on puzzles, and
Zelda could work though.
that's a little. I think it's a little
Early
trickier
Zelda,
to
yeah.
put that together.
Sorry, I'm blanking on the name, and I shouldn't be because it was fantastic. The most recent 3DS Zelda game,
Link Between
Link
Worlds.
Between Worlds, introduced the mechanic of play any dungeon you want because you just rent the item you need. There you go.
Yeah. I don't know if I trust people. I've played a lot of good Mario levels. I've played so many stinky ones. I'm not sure I trust those people to make Zelda dungeons.
Well, no, but you might have some diamonds in the rough, and that's kind of what you already have with Mario Maker.
And even what is that? What was that? Is that a reference to something?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yes, Kyle.
I only know video games. You're all diamonds.
There's a good video game for that movie.
Whoa.
2, actually, but the Genesis one was better.
Now I'm super curious what we're talking about. In Zelda's case, though, Zelda, the games are so, they have a quality to them that no other games have. Triforce Heroes makes my stomach churn because it is some creepy Mario Maker level at some weirdo
That
made.
is what you would get.
Yeah, and so, in those two particular franchises, no. I think there is something to explore with Mario Maker, though. It's another thing to find with that success. I'm not sure where that is, though. Brandon, I guess Castlevania is your pick. Blood, what would work?
I think Mega Man is definitely one that
Oh,
could
right,
work.
yeah. Absolutely, Mega Man could work.
It'd just be interesting because then it's when you talk about abilities and powers and stuff like that, that all makes everything a bit more complicated, right? Because you don't you don't get Mega Man's powers out of a block. So
Yeah.
you assign somebody to have a certain group of powers. Everyone just have all of the powers that are in the Mega Man game. Yeah.
Shoot, I think like Brandon's original theory that Mario Maker works because it's Mario might be right.
I think
Mega Man's
yeah,
close
that's right.
because like a
Yeah.
bad Mario level is still fun, whereas like a bad Zelda dungeon, like no, thank you. Oh man, that
I
would
think-
kill the whole experience for
Right.
me.
Donkey Kong is another really like you could
Sure.
do like it'd be,
There you
it'd
go.
be it's basically the exact same as Mario, just faster and harder.
Woo-wee. All right, we'll move on. Thank you, Daniel Warren, for the question. It's time for bets, of course. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. Highly anticipated. Releases on Tuesday. Now, we don't normally do this because I think it's stupid and crazy. But we're betting on
It's worth doing once.
the Metacritic user score. At this point next week, what will the user score be on Metacritic.com for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 on the Xbox One? Brandon, you are first to reveal.
It's flat 7.
Whoa.
I think that it will have a 3.9. Matt Blair, what's that user score going to be?
I was super optimistic because I figured that the users, like the only ones fervent enough to actually go out there, would be trying to fight all the hate.
Sure.
I went with 43.
Okay, so they're only on a scale of 1 to 10.
Shit.
No,
4.3.
No, it's out of 100.
The user scores are...
So
Aren't they?
8.6 out of 10.
Oh, you thought it was out of 5?
Yeah, so 4.3 will do?
Wait,
It's 4.3
what is it
out of
actually?
5.
It's on a scale of 1 to 10.
1 to
The
10.
user
So,
scores.
but a 100-point scale if you count the 10th decimal.
Yeah,
Do they
right.
count the 10th decimal?
Yes.
Yes, so 4.3.
Okay, we'll count 4.3.
43 is 4.3 on a
Yeah.
100-point scale.
Sure.
So 43.
Yeah.
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 I went at the 5 for 5.
5 for 5. All right, let me lock that in. Okay, great bets. Poor Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. What?
Did you just
What?
locked in 3.9%?
No. I originally wrote 39% because I, like you, thought it was on a 100-point scale.
Okay.
But it's not. And so then I had to scratch off my percentages.
You didn't do a very good job.
You scratched them off in the shape of a percent. Let's see that again here, Kyle. Yeah. You just made X.
tiny
No, like, so if you make a mistake on a check, you're just supposed to do a nice clean X and then initial it. So there we
Or
go.
just write a new check.
There we
Yeah,
go.
just
Now,
start
But every part of
3.9,
the part of
X.
the percent symbol is all one character.
It just
You're
looks
supposed to
like
put
a
one big
percent.
X.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Look, I do
Oh,
what I
jeez.
can. Let's talk about last week's bet. Blood Bowl 2 was released this week. At this point, how many topics will exist in the general Blood Bowl 2 thread on the official Blood Bowl 2 forums? At last week, there were merely 164 threads. Topics, I guess I should say, but that means threads. Blood, you bet 260. Brandon, you bet 500. I bet 192. In the super seat last week, Jess V bet 307. The actual number of topics is 239 today. That is a win for Daniel Bloodworth.
Nice.
The points. Wait, what are you pumped about?
No, I'm raising my fist in anger.
Shaking his skinny fists.
You had the skinny fists.
It's a Godspeed, you Black Emperor.
Oh,
Never
okay.
mind.
Jones, you were the high bet big time on that one.
I'm the high bet this week too.
Yeah, but
Maybe if you weren't so high. Just kidding.
falls asleep.
Wow.
I need Cheetos.
I just think there are going to be people. It's like Madden. I just think there's going to be people that play Tony Hawk that don't care. You know, this
Right.
all
Yeah,
this
yeah,
technical
yeah.
stuff, all the weird microtransaction or whatever nonsense is going to come to that game. They're just whatever. I'm just happy I got Tony Hawk back.
User rating
So.
is always higher than.
Yeah.
Almost
Yeah.
always higher than.
Because-
Or
like,
drastically lower.
One
Yeah.
person
Oh,
is going to
really?
give this a 10. They just,
Uh,
inevitably. You know, it doesn't matter what game it is.
Here's the thing, though,
Tony Hawk.
is
He goes in there.
I hate it. I hate thinking about on Metacritic. Sure,
It's like, screw you guys. It's a 10.
it's fun, dude. The mechanics are there.
They exist.
It's the $60 thing. I hate it. I hate thinking about a game as $60 US, but I think that's going to hurt this game so much when the reviews come and when the users start playing.
Australian, how many euros? Like, yeah.
like
Yeah, but it's a
$100.
full priced game, and it does not
Right.
look close to what a full priced game should look like right now in 2015.
Yeah.
You're such a graphics snob.
Graphic snap, but also no, it's not just graphics. It's animation. It's
It is kind of interesting how
execution.
they've kind of hurt themselves by putting out footage each time. It's tough.
Nails in the coffin.
yeah. Anyway, Blood, what you've won is a point. Super Seats at 12, Blood at 14, Jones 5 with a lightning bolt, myself at 8. you have won the right to and responsibility to tell everybody your Twitter handle. You get to close out the show with your trademark catchphrase, and you also get the final word. This is one thing that Huber did. He called out Brandon, and I thought that was really funny. So you can also say anything along with your final catchphrase. Anything you felt like was unjust that we talked about today. If you disagree with anything that was said, that's your opportunity to have the final word on it, but also promote any video you want.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been out much of this week, so I guess the only thing I'll pitch is my very late Tearaway Unfolded review, which will be up around the same time as this, or maybe early tomorrow. But yeah, that's a game that
Friday.
That Friday, yeah. I kind of missed that game the first time around. I'm glad I got to play it now. It doesn't really play like a lot of other games, so it's pretty cool. My Twitter handle is @dbloodworth2. I guess for the final word, I will once again repeat that Star Fox Zero was not the last Wii U game. Xenoblade is coming out in December. I may not get to play it until January, but it's coming out in December. And we will not see you before the next blood moon rises, because the next blood moon is on Monday. So look forward to that. I think it's a super moon or something too, or something like that. Check out the astronomy blogs.
I love.